All right, all right, y'all boys. Why it sucks to be a fucking quarterback? Do I personally agree with that? It's like, and because quarterback is a hard ass position to play, along with linemen, DB, and shit like that, and things of that nature. It's just, it's just shit. It's hard to play. But with that being said, lock in with me real quick, chat.
Since elementary school recess, when you started slinging the rock to impress Katie in second grade. You called plays at the rec center like you were 2004 Peyton Manning.
Man.
Trips left, roll out, hit your best friend on the corner route. You dropped it every time, but you kept throwing him dots anyway, till you busted his nose with a missile on a quick slant.
Shit sad.
That was the end of that friendship. You joined Pop Warner and they handed you a helmet that was too big and a playbook that was too small. But it didn't matter, because when the ball touched your hands, you were the main character, and quickly became the talk of the town. The kid that everyone watched, who made things happen even when your teammates weren't even half as good. You weren't the fastest, you weren't the strongest, but you had touch. And coaches will always love a pure passer. By middle school...
Cap. I'm gonna let y'all know this shit, right? That's such cap. If you are such a pure passer, even if you are the best, coaches that's cap.
You had the keys to the junior high team. In high school, you started varsity as a sophomore and your jersey sold at the school store. Your senior year was just a formality, but you went out and lit it up anyway. You committed early, a 5-star blue chip and one of the top QBs in the class.
This is about Joe Burrow?
The school had tradition, legacy, and most importantly, national titles. And they told you that you'd be next. But when you got there, someone else was already the king.
This has to be about Joe Burrow.
With a rocket arm, a chance at the Heisman. Your coaches said all the right things. Competition breeds greatness. Iron sharpens iron. But you weren't sharpening anything. You were holding a clipboard.
You're mean, nigga, this is literally about Joe Burrow. Because he played at Ohio State. Well, he was a backup. Am I watching a fucking video about why it sucks to be a quarterback, aka Joe Burrow, a nigga that has a bag right now that went to a Super Bowl? Hey, bro, let me keep watching.
Scout team while your hometown fans begged for you to transfer. You handed off in scrimmages. The starter had his face on billboards and signed autographs after practice.
Chad, which college would y'all go to?
Alone, rewinding the same 3 plays until the lights shut off.
If y'all had a chance to go D1, what school are you picking?
He had his pick of the Zeta group.
Even in HBCU, what school are you picking?
You had to hang with Chi Omega. But you smiled through it all, said you were focused on learning. But every Sunday morning you thought about the future. 3 years later, beaten out for the starting gig again, it was transfer time. You hit the wire and watched the phone light up.
If it goes to LSU, I swear to God.
4 offer instant starting jobs. You pick another one with history, but this time with a wide open...
I'm watching a literal video about Joe Burrow's fucking career, is what I'm assuming.
Open opportunity. The coach tells you, we need a dog. You're him. New town, new scheme, new number. You're named the starter. Rattle off 5 straight wins to begin. Get shut out a few weeks later, but not to worry. You bounce back. A national championship was always out of the question, but you settle for a bowl win. Year 1 was a great success, but year 2, you become a god. 1 season as a starter is worth 100 years on the bench. Go figure. Everything feels easier. And this time, people start to notice. You throw 5 touchdowns in the opener. Then 4 the week after. The numbers start stacking up.
This was one of the
keep coming too.
Like,
Suddenly,
besides that Miami Hurricanes 08 team or whatever, bro, this has to be one of the greatest football teams to ever step foot on that field. Besides that Bama team as well, bro, because these LSU motherfuckers was nothing to be fucked with.
The offense. You might as well be the state's governor. The game slows down. You hit windows.
Man, they treated this nigga like God when he was there.
Your teammates, they trust you with their lives. Your name starts showing up in the Heisman conversation. Analysts call you surgical, and defensive coordinators see you in their nightmares. You walk into hostile stadiums and silence them by halftime. You hang 50 on top-ranked teams without breaking a sweat. Every time someone doubts you, you bury them that Saturday. Everyone's calling it a Cinderella story, but this isn't luck. This is what happens when someone who never
Chiefs
stopped
kryptonite
working
right here,
finally
baby.
gets
Chiefs kryptonite right here.
shot. You light up the playoffs, break every record in the books, a championship run that was never in question. It was destiny. By the end of the season, there's no debate. There hadn't been for a while. You're the best quarterback in the country.
Damn, who are the finalists? Yeah, Jalen Hurts up here, Chase Young, Justin Fields, Joey B. Obviously he won, but Yo, look at this lineup of NFL stars, right? Let's take a moment and look at this, right? Because not only do you have a Super Bowl MVP and a Super Bowl winner who's went twice in his career, mind you, not even it didn't even take him that fucking long. Chase Young, who obviously is still a dog. Justin Fields, who the league has been doing dirty, but this nigga has been a dog. Joe Burrow, obviously dog, and it's like, wow, looking at this draft class, this shit is beautiful.
No debate. There hadn't been for a while. You're the best quarterback in the country. Colin Cowherd is in love, and Mel Kiper won't stop yapping. Then comes the call. A call that, honestly, you knew was coming for 4 months. So the moment doesn't hit quite as hard. But this is what you worked for, right? Your mom's crying. Your girl is praying you put a ring on it for obvious reasons.
Boo,
The blood, sweat, tears, the time you pooped your pants in the second quarter, it all brought you here. So you put on the hat, smile for the camera, give Roger a big hug. You can smell he's wearing
Hey, man, Caleb. That nigga Caleb was not smiling his rookie year, man, because goddamn.
Tom Ford Oud
Them
Wood,
niggas couldn't block for
which
shit.
is weird because so are you. But it's showtime, so you hold up the jersey and start rehearsing answers to questions you haven't even been asked yet. Smile for the camera, buddy. You're the face of the franchise. But that franchise? Yeah, that's the worst team in the league. They won 2 games last year.
Oh, this
Their
is about
head coach
Trevor
just
Lawrence?
got fired, and I hate to break it to you, but the new guy, he's even worse. And the left tackle you'll be trusting with your $300 million career, he led the league in holding calls and might just get bull rushed directly into your ACL.
Oh, shit, nigga.
They didn't draft you to learn on the job. They drafted you to save them. Today. So they fuel the jet and fly you out. They give you a tour of the facility.
This
like
shit
it's
sounds so
Disneyland.
fucking
Weight
stressful.
room. You won't really be
Bro,
needing that.
mind you, we aren't even halfway through this fucking video, and being an NFL quarterback being a quarterback in general, this shit sounds good, but also stressful.
Film room, you'll be needing that.
A lot.
Then they hand you a playbook so thick it looks like it was written by Tolstoy and say, see you at 6. You stay up until 3 studying it.
Oh,
You
yeah, I
must
couldn't
be
do this
ready.
shit, bro.
But you
Make
won't
me a
be.
lineman or something.
Training camp starts with a welcome speech from the head coach that includes the words culture, grit, and compete 19 times in 3 minutes.
Man.
You don't understand any of it, but neither does anyone else. Just smile politely. You're witnessing
Smile
insanity.
away, boys.
On the field, every throw is analyzed under a microscope, and every drill is recorded. Every word dissected. They tell you to
Every
ignore the
word.
noise, but the noise is part of the job description.
Okay,
You're young, but you're
I will say this, questioning, because yes, that is a big one. They will always tell you to ignore the fucking noise. But if you realistically do think about it, if you are popping or if you are pretty ass, at a quarterback, you're going to hear a little bit of the noise. You aren't going to be like, I just can't ignore all this shit. You hear a little bit. That's why when people are like, I ignored everything, be for real, bro. You heard a little bit of that shit. Even in your own camp or something like that, you heard a little bit of that shit. You heard a little bit. Just a little bit.
expected to lead. You walk into a locker room full of human battering rams with multiple families and say, follow me. Your quarterback's coach is 28. Your OC changes the terminology every week. The head coach leaves practice early sometimes, and you hear rumors about why, but you feign ignorance. You're 22. The right tackle's 32. Looks like he's been through 3 world wars, and he has to drown himself in peanut butter jelly sandwiches all day so he doesn't
Hey,
tip
what's-
the scales at any less than 315.
What's wrong with
He
PB?
does not care what you did in college. He's just tired of trying to block 3 guys at once on 3rd and long. Then week 1 hits. You throw a pick on your 4th drive. Your left tackle gets beat clean. Again. And you take a helmet under the chin that leaves you chewing blood. The sideline taps you on the helmet. Good rep, they say.
Good
You
rep.
lose by 16. The press conference is awkward. You're asked if you're overwhelmed. You, of course, lie and say no. By midseason, you've
Okay,
lost 6
now with Trevor Lawrence's situation, obviously him and Joey B are in 2 different situations. But with Trevor Lawrence, what do y'all really say? Because Joe Burrow's O-line is obviously not that fucking good. And this nigga is a stud, right? And then you look at Trevor Lawrence. His O-line, completely obviously not that fucking good. But he's doing shit like this. And it's like, I don't really blame him. I blame him and don't blame him. Because, this is what, 4:30 or whatever? And he's still doing shit like this. So, I don't know, bro. I really don't know.
of your first 7 starts.
also
You've
being
thrown
a-
9 picks and
Never
been
mind.
sacked 28 times. You're seeing ghosts out there. Not because you're soft, but because you play for a poverty
It's like,
franchise. You're seeing ghosts out there. Not because you're
see, shit like this. No one's looking at the ball and you just completely just say, fuck it. I get you're trying to, save your own ass from getting hit, but again, you have to pay. If not here, dude, you have it, my nigga. Bro, it's right here, gang. It's right here. Bro, it is literally right fucking here. I don't understand how, because this corner is looking, he's either taking this motherfucker right here, or if he does undercut it, I feel like, this side of the field is right here, bro.
soft, but because you play for a poverty franchise. Remember? One week it's quick game timing routes, the next it's four verts and pray. One game you're getting called the future, and the next you're not progressing fast enough.
Yeah.
You're doing everything you can to get better, but with every mistake, you inch a bit closer to that dreaded bust label. During the week, the building is tense. The head coach throws the O-line under the bus in a press conference, blames the media for twisting his words. Just what you need. Pass protectors with low morale. Then he gets fired in the midst of a 3-14 season. You're the only one still there when the dust settles.
Urban Meyer wasn't, that much of a good coach, so life.
You're 22 and just lost more games in one season than you had in your entire life combined. And now the only thing people remember about your rookie year is that you didn't live up to the hype.
Year two.
But year two is different. New system, new weapons. You're faster with your reads, more decisive. The ball jumps out cleaner. You throw for 4,600 yards and 34 touchdowns. You win 10 games. And the city breathes a sigh of relief. You make the playoffs, wild card weekend. The game goes down to the wire. You throw for nearly 300 yards, but no touchdowns. And the defense folds late. You lose by a field goal in overtime. And of course, that loss is yours. All yours.
Oh my God. Now, we need to, honest to God, talk about that, because we need to stop making wins and losses like a QB stat. That's a fucking team thing, bro. I hate that shit. I hate when, yes, now winning is a big part of it, but bro, if you are literally just looking at a QB based off the amount of wins and losses they have, that's the stupidest shit to me, because say a quarterback can be really good. I'm talking good as fuck. But look at his fucking team. His team can be so shit, so ass, so everything. These niggas keep losing. But they're going to look at the quarterback as like, oh, you're on the losing team, and a lot of these losses are on you. And it's like, bro, what are we doing? Niggas don't blame the defense.
The media
they don't
calls
do
you
shit.
exciting but unproven. They debate whether you have it. Your stats get quoted with an asterisk. People start saying you can't win the big one, that you're great until it really matters. Choke artist. Even though you just threw how many straight passes without a pick? Year 3, it happens again.
Shut the fuck up. This is the biggest choke artist. Bro, like, I'm sick of this nigga, bro. I am so sick of this nigga, bro. 0-4, it like, bro, years of this shit, y'all can't figure out one fucking game plan? I don't understand. How the fuck do y'all go into the regular season? We got they ass. Then in the playoffs, fuck out of here, bro.
Win 13 games, make the Pro Bowl, get voted a team captain.
Like,
win
look at
2
this
playoff
shit.
games, but not the third. And to make matters worse, after the loss, you received word your house was robbed.
Oh, yeah.
Now you're in that tier, the purgatory of elite, but not the best. At least you did escape that bust label, but you're just the guy who keeps getting close. You play incredible football, carry rosters that don't deserve you, and critics still say you're missing something. A ring, a 2-minute drive. You go home in January, again, and in March, they're putting you 7th in next year's quarterback rankings. 7th. The disrespect.
Mr. Underrated.
But you keep your head down. You stack wins, throw for 300 yards, lead game-winning drives, walk off without celebrating. Because, if you smile too wide, they'll find a problem with that too. You go 12-4 as the starter. Best QBR in the league. Near the top in every meaningful
All
stat.
right, let's relax. Let's relax. This nigga is on the 49ers now, even though he's pretty decent. This nigga is on the 49ers now. Relax. No,
Hey, he's efficient, but
now, question for Mr. Fuck, what was this nigga's name? Mr. Brock Purdy. Question for this nigga, right? Is he, like, good, or is he just good because he's in a, good system? In my personal opinion, this nigga's just good. Because if you look at Here's the thing, bro. People say the same shit about Jalen Hurts. They're like, Hurts isn't good, even though he's a top 5 quarterback. They're like, Hurts isn't good, even though he's just in a good QB system. He's just in a good system, which makes no sense. Because without Hurts in the system, the Eagles fucking suck. Hurts is a good quarterback. The nigga's a top 5 quarterback. No ifs, ands, buts. But with the thing with Brock Purdy's good. It's just the 49ers are just a shit team. And yes, I said it.
Efficient, but he's not the reason they're winning. He's a product of the system. Just
Now,
has
see,
great weapons.
Product of the system.
Like, you didn't still have to make the throws. Like, you didn't just go into enemy territory and light up the same defense that bullied quarterbacks all year. You have one bad game, missing your left tackle, your wide receiver 1, and your starting running back. You go 14 of 31 with a pick, and the headlines the next morning, is this who he really is? He got exposed. You cannot extend him for $60 million a year. You can win all you want in the regular season, but you won't get the credit that's due. They say you're a game manager, as if managing the game isn't almost the entire point of your position.
That's what I'm saying.
You keep answering questions like you're on trial, staying calm through every passive-aggressive critique, shaking hands with people who trash you in their weekly articles. You know they only want to see one thing.
Is to see you fail.
Now you're in year 8. You've made the Pro Bowl.
Now, this is a totally different situation. Dak is just ass. The Cowboys and Dak is just ass. Dak has been doing this shit for too many years, bro. To the point, Jalen Hurts has been to the Super Bowl twice, and he has won one. The Cowboys have still yet to make it past the first round of the playoffs. Now, is some of their... Okay, I know this video how it's on why it sucks to be a fucking quarterback, but bro, I feel like certain quarterbacks and then the certain type of player has to be... Because Dak is... He's not that good, bro. Dak is good for the Cowboys, I will say. He's good for the Cowboys. As far as him being a top quarterback, hell to the no, bro. Because there's a lot of shit this fucking team, and there's just a lot of shit they need to work on.
Bowl 3 times, received MVP votes. You've put up numbers most guys would kill for. Won the division 4 times, led the league in comeback wins, you name it. You've become one of the guys at the position. But the playoffs, that's where things start to crack. One year you get out-dueled. The next, you just couldn't score.
Literally.
One time, your defense gives up 48. Doesn't matter why. You didn't win. You know the questions have changed from, is this the year? To, is the window closed?
Bro, it's they fucking
used to
year
be the
every
future.
year.
Now, all of a sudden, you've wasted your prime, held the team back, and are far too expensive for what you bring to the table. You've already played the best football of your life. You watch younger quarterbacks get crowned when there's nothing they've done that you haven't. Talking heads rank you 10th behind guys who don't have any more playoff success than you do. You're still only 31, but they talk about you like your career's in the rearview mirror.
It's okay. Let me say it again. Dak is good for the Cowboys. It's not like I just can't see any other QB fitting their system besides him. You feel me? If they get another one, that's good for them. Because here's the thing, bro. You want to be like playoff wins, success, and everything like that. Dak has some. But also, they still just can't get shit done. And half the time, yes, some of the shit that they've got going on, Dak is involved in that shit, bro. But there are some plays where, yes, he makes. That's the thing about being in his position, bro. If you are an average, well, I wouldn't even say, yes, you're an average QB like that, but I ain't gonna lie, yes, if I'm Dak and I'm getting ranked behind Justin Herbert, I'm gonna have to, that's a fight. I can't rank Dak behind Justin Herbert. I just can't. Justin Herbert has been to the playoffs. They've lost both games. And like, bro, Justin Herbert's the biggest what if QB. He's a good QB, but the nigga is a what if QB, man. Because, bro, you can't sit up here and be like, Dak is this, Dak is that, and then like you look at the Chargers and then you're just like, oh yeah, what if Justin Herbert, what if this and that, and he is a good QB, but you can't throw out what ifs just to, you feel me?
You're still putting up numbers, not career highs maybe, but 4,000 yards, 28 touchdowns, 11 picks.
Some psychedelics.
That used to mean something. Now it just means you're old.
Yeah.
You miss an off-platform throw that you would have nailed when you were 25. Now you're cooked, washed. Should have retired 3 years ago. You throw a pick in week 13 and it trends on Twitter because, my God.
Kirk is just ass. Kirk Cousins is just ass. There's no ifs, ands, he is just ass. This nigga has. I don't even think Kirk has a playoff win, does he? I think he has one or so, or it's something. But Kirk is not a good quarterback. I feel like that has to be said, bro. He thrived in the Viking system because the Vikings can create a good QB system. But Kirk overall, not a good quarterback. What the fuck were the Falcons thinking paying this nigga that? I would have never turned an eye to that shit.
Where did all the zip
I would have
on
told
your
this
ball
motherfucker
go?
straight up kick
You
rocks.
used to be a magician, escaping sacks, launching bombs across your body, doing the impossible every Sunday. Now to attempt that would just be reckless. Your mechanics are falling apart, and your leadership certainly doesn't hit the same. You're on every debate show, but never in a good way. Should they cut you? Trade you? They can't possibly bring you back, right?
And they end up
What
cutting
you've
him.
done to this franchise? It's reprehensible.
He just didn't
You
get
can still sling it, still see the field well, make some throws now and again nobody else even tries. But good luck getting credit for that when you're 3-10. Not at your age, not with your resume. You're not being judged against the league anymore. You're not even worthy of that. You're being judged against your younger self. And he was nearly perfect. The fans who used to defend you are now the ones making memes. The same ones who called you a god now say you're stealing money, you're a burden.
Tough.
And the game does not love you like it used to. You know it's almost over. You feel it in the morning when you get out of bed. You used to bounce back from games. Now it's 2 days before you can even jog. Your arm's fading. You don't say it out loud, but you can feel it every time the ball flutters out late and wide.
Oh, that's how. Yeah, bro. This is Denver painting, bro. Ew.
That rickety shoulder has a lot of miles on it.
Fat ass
Your
forehead.
coaches say, you've still got it.
How
What's
the
in
fuck
that
did?
toe?
Okay, I know they've all said this joke, but realistically, yes, they had to custom make a helmet for Peyton Manning, bro, because this nigga's head, that forehead was fat. Like his forehead is fat as fuck, bro. We ain't gonna sit here and act like it's not. They had to custom make a helmet. There's not many helmets that can fit that shit, man.
Like, what are you?
Shout out Peyton
5
Manning,
years
bro.
old? They're still starting you, partly out of respect, partly because they don't have anyone else. But the
And
West
they went to the Super Bowl and got that ass clapped by obviously the greatest team to ever fucking do it. Seattle just like, can we go back to another bowl? Appreciate it, but get back to the video.
Coasters are getting louder, that the games pass you by, that the team's just biding time until you're gone.
Literally.
Would you hang up the cleats already? You say the right things in the interviews, talk about how much you still love the grind, but the reality, the 12,000 hours in the film room, 20 hours a week on the trainer's table, you're just about over it. You limp through the season, a strained calf here, a bruised rib there,
God
and even
damn.
worse, you just threw your 4th pick of the game and got benched for a guy who couldn't hold your jockstrap in your prime. You were single-handedly sinking the team. And the media is saying this is how legends ruin their legacies. You certainly don't make the playoffs. Not even close.
Oh, I
It was
forgot, man.
obvious to everyone
Yo.
that this was the last pathetic run, but there's no
What the
farewell to-
fuck? I hella did forget Matt Ryan played for the fucking Colts.
Just a quiet retirement a few weeks later, a few tribute videos, and more tweets than you can count saying, hell of a career. You watch the playoffs from home once again, see
Shoulda
the
got
new
it
player
right.
they're hyping up, getting twice the love with half your arm. He makes a wild card game and they call him the next big thing. How many times did you do that?
Nigga, a
You
25-year-old
walk
rookie.
away with everything. Yards, touchdowns, Pro Bowls, except the one thing they use to measure true greatness.
That's Super
You have to
Bowl.
leave without a ring. And eventually, they stop saying your name out loud. On the bright side, you won't be bored in retirement. Now you're blessing America with your color commentary. You're calling the Super Bowl now, not playing in it. Get real. Just sitting in a booth with a mic clipped to your collar, narrating someone else doing what
And all you hear nowadays is fucking Tony Romo glazing the shit out of Mahomes.
you never could. That guy on the field is 26, 5th year in the league. He throws 2 touchdowns and rushes for another.
Jalen
You say the right
Hurts.
things, that he's playing lights out, performance for the ages, and you mean it. Mostly. As he raises the trophy, you smile into the mic, sign off, remove the headset, and sit there quiet. Because you played 14 years and did everything except that. But you know what doesn't suck? The NFL draft.
Chad, how do y'all feel about that? How do y'all feel about, and which NFL QB career would you want to have? But how do y'all honestly feel about that? Do you think it is hard to play QB?